got two. I mean, yeah, it's obviously embarrassed. No excuse really for that poor performance, but you gotta look at it and you gotta learn from it. You could just say, okay, let's not worry about the tape and let's not watch it. But there's a lot of young guys that are playing that need to learn from it, and as coaching staff, we need to learn from it ourselves. And so we went through it, as painful as it was, as coaches, as players. And then last night, did a walkthrough, started getting ready for Colorado, which is a very good team, very veteran team, playing high-level football, and they're healthy. And so we've got to, as a staff, we've got to put some stuff together to have chances for success Saturday night.
Younger guys seem like their confidence was shaken at all?
I don't know, probably. I'm sure it is. I mean, whether they want to admit it or not, it gets shaken. But I think when you're playing, particularly all those young freshmen and sophomores that are playing in the secondary, I think you just got to teach them that, the battle and come back. It's a veteran group they played against that executed very well, and we didn't. And as coaching staff, it's our job to try to get them to play with confidence and put them in position to make some plays and all that. So it starts with us as coaches, and then obviously filters down to the guys having confidence in it. So we evaluated everything. I don't think you're just going to make wholesale changes scheme-wise or personnel-wise, because we've been, it's not like we're not trying, but you got to evaluate what you're doing and what you're who's healthy and try to put them in the right spot.
What was good about the crispness that you saw from Anu being back in there?
He made some plays, and then you had some moments where you just scratch your head. It's like, did that really happen? So I think he's just trying to make some plays, and he was excited about playing. And we'll keep working with him and Brandon. I think we'll play both of them. There's no set thing. We'll see how they practice this week, but we've got to get productive play out of it, and we got to try to get them in a position to make some plays. And when we do, we can't have penalties or something that brings those big plays back.
You mentioned scratch your head. Some of those laterals. What was his explanation for?
I just like this. Yeah, I sometimes, even though I think it was on his birthday, maybe it was his birthday present to himself to play some Xbox way or something. I don't know, but they're still young guys. And as coaches, again, we just got to get it to the point where they play. I want them to play, somewhat loose, but you got to, in particular offensively, you've got to be refined and understand the situation and all that. And he does. So, but we got to do a good job coaching it.
Was this game an illustration of, when you have you look at Cam Denson, who didn't appear he was doing a whole lot different than maybe we've seen before, but he finally had a quarterback that could get him the football. Is that an illustration you think of? Here's a guy that, as long as we have a quarterback that can make certain throws, we can get some of these guys.
I think that's, I don't know about that statement. I think that's more saying that, the reason Cam hadn't scored touchdowns before is because the quarterback didn't throw the ball. That's when Casey wasn't playing much because he didn't deserve to start. He got the start Saturday because one, he deserved to start because he got to practice better, and two, Cedric Peterson is out for the year with a broken foot. So, and Samaje Grant's playing tailback. So Cam got him to play. He made some plays and got some things that he didn't do exactly what he's supposed to as far as assignment goes. But he's it's important to him. So we'll keep working with him. He's a talented guy, but I don't think you paint a picture that he'd have 30 touchdown passes if the right quarterback was in there. That's not a correct statement.
Coach, what do you see from Colorado this year? Last year, the record in Pac-12 was 1-8, and they've been able to turn it around this year.
They've been really close. I think you really saw it a couple years ago, and then last year you saw it even more so. They were in some close games, and that had some bad luck, had a few injuries, and this year they're a veteran group. I think they got 8 seniors starting on defense, and 4 or 5 of them are fifth-year guys. They've stayed healthy. They play hard. They're well coached. They have a lot of confidence right now, and they're not only just taking care of the ball, but they're also, for the most part, throughout the year, creating a lot of big turnovers and things. So they're just playing really good football, and we'll get a really good team coming there Saturday night.
What is the cause of some of the communication breakdowns that seem to be happening? I don't know if it's within the offensive line or between the offensive line and quarterback that's causing some of the plays to kind of blow up.
I don't know, I don't know if it's much about exactly what you're talking about, communication breakdown. There hasn't been as many, I haven't seen as many as that. I don't see pre-snap penalties, and there's been a missed assignment. There were a couple missed assignments in pass protection. And that, I think that sometimes that happens, and sometimes because of injuries, we've shuffled guys from, also Dick didn't play, and then DeBeer got hurt, and so you're moving guys around a little bit, so that may have something to do with, every once in a while have a missed assignment on the pass protection.
Well, the one play I was thinking about was the fourth down in the second quarter. Anu was in there and he ended up getting sacked. It looked like there were 3 offensive linemen blocking 1 defensive lineman and then 2. Is that an
Oh, that was
assignment
just,
thing?
that's what I was talking about, missed assignment. Yeah, there was actually a front we'd seen throughout the game and throughout the season. So again, we've got to make sure that we're guys that know exactly what our offense is not that complicated. So, we're not. Sometimes as coaches, we just got to make sure they see it in the same way we see it.
Does it wear on you a little bit that everything's always kind of in flux, that you have to keep shuffling linemen and shuffling quarterbacks, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. I don't know, nobody wants to hear about it, but, just say, for instance, I mean, defensively, we didn't do a good job at all, coaching wise, there's no part of that game that was coached good, starting with the head coach. But, in defense, some of the stuff that they're reaching for defensively is, your Mike linebackers, obviously Ippolito's out, Michael Barton's out, DeAndre Miller was starting at Mike, he played 3 plays and then he's out. And so all of a sudden you've got moving guys from one linebacker position to another and put a safety at linebacker and you don't, it's not it constricts what you're able to do and adjustments you can make. That's just one example. So, other teams are going through it. And I think eventually we're going to get to the point where we're deep enough and strong enough. I think when you young guys, sometimes they get banged up, it's a little bit harder because they're not quite the strength level. But all those young safeties, we probably look out there, there's 3 or 4 true freshmen at safety. Golly, they're going to be good players. But, they got to get away from them for a year or 2.
Mitch, you haven't gone through something like this since maybe Salem, first year at Greenville, or Glenville, I'm sorry. Just how it wears on you too, maybe all the stuff that you're going through, all the losing.
Yeah, it's miserable.
Coach, what do you hope the young players can take from this experience of the season?
Well, I don't want them to take it well. That's the first thing. You hope that the competitors in them, which I think it will say, listen, we're tired of getting our tail kicked and we'll work that much harder in the weight room. It's got to motivate them and motivates the coaching staff, motivates me, motivates everybody in the program. Work a little harder, recruit well, get some guys in there, provide some depth and competition, and maybe even start and get the guys that are returning to play at a higher level, and then the guys that are seniors, them to play their tail off the next 3 games. That's what you do.
You changed punters in the third quarter. Are you going to stick with Matt Aragon at this point as the punter?
No, I don't know. We'll see how they punt during the week, and Josh has been pretty good all year, but that was like, he can lead. Everybody can be critical. We deserve to be criticized for that performance, but the guys aren't doing it on purpose. I mean, we're supposed to kick it high to the right, and we kick it low to the left. We're supposed to kick it to the left, and we kick it low to the right. It's not like they're doing it on purpose. And you can scream and yell at them and all that. And you just wonder why. I mean, why do you flip the ball sideways when you fall forward for a first down? You just got to get to the point that you coach them to where they won't do that, but they're inevitably gonna make mistakes and have to learn from them, and hopefully the key is you don't make them again.
Rich, what are you seeing specifically with Colorado's passing game that's allowed them to have success really with both those guys that they've had in there?
Yeah, they're very explosive, a wideout, have some of the fastest wideouts in the leagues, you know, their quarterback is an experienced guy, they do a good job up front. You know, they've changed a little bit over the last couple of years. They're more spread, and then they'll get them out wide sometimes, and they're more up tempo. You know, their pace is, their tempo's increased a whole lot, and their formations and their attack has spread out a whole lot more too over the last, really started last year, but even more so this year.
What were your thoughts on Samaji's performance in his second?
You know, he's playing pretty well for a guy that's only been there 2 weeks. You know, he's blocking well when he has to block. He's made some good runs, and we got to do a better job up front, give him some creases. But he's, you know, with our tailback situation, he'll be the rest of the year, and he's a competitive guy. So he's been playing really hard, and I'm glad he's there.
Would you say that JJ and Nick are out for the season at this point?
Yeah, JJ is for sure,
JJ is for sure.
and I don't see any foreseeable comeback for Nick. So.
Defensively, would you have liked Marcel to have put more pressure? It seemed like at times, though, dropping, you guys took away the first couple of options and really made.
Yeah, you know, it was just, I think, again, it goes back to where we, you know, I think it's not like we weren't trying when we blitzed, and our man coverage, our blitzes weren't getting there, and our man coverage didn't hold up long enough. I certainly didn't get no pressure with a 3-man rush, and we didn't react well on our zone dropping, and so it was one of those nightmare games.
As far as what you were talking about, you know, motivation earlier, early in the year, you played for a Pac-12 title, then you played for a bowl game. At this point, what do you play for?
Well, one, to get, you know, just to be a competitor, enjoy the game, and try to get that good feeling back. And as I tell them, you know, we know what it did with our season. Now we got to try to make, you know, somebody else's season bad, or try to at least put a dent in their season. That's all you got to do. And if you're a competitor, you'll play. I mean, you work all year for these opportunities. I hope you want to play. You know, we're going home Saturday night. Hopefully, we'll get a good crowd, and you know, we got to go play. Get a chance to play against I don't know whether they're ranked, but a highly ranked team. And maybe we can have a good night.
So you had that ineligible man downfield on the first play from scrimmage. What do you tell the offensive linemen with those RPO plays about what they're supposed to do?
Don't be an
Not
ineligible
supposed
man
to
downfield. I mean, run.
How does he?
How does that
How do they
happen?
know?
Good,
whether
that's a good
it's
question,
run
Michael.
or
How does
pass?
that, you know, the first thing I said, how does that happen when you practice it and run it, and, you know, we make a call so they know not to be down there, and in the defense of what happens is, he got bumped, you know, 2 yards beyond, when he's at 4 yards, and you can only be 3, and he got bumped to 4, and he didn't back up right away. Flag. But,
Does that add to the list of little specific things you're to practice now?
well, we know, I mean, practice it, we do it every day, numerous times in every game, and I mean, it's part of what we do. And don't get bumped past 3 yards, and if you do, back up faster. That's what you tell them.
What are your thoughts on the high school playoffs? Sunrise Mountain is the opponent.
Yeah, I just found out all week, I was gonna miss it, I'm gonna miss it, it's Friday night. I find out it's Thursday night that my son plays, so I may be able to go, I don't know, we got, you know, the good thing we do practice in the morning, so that may give me an opportunity, I don't know. We got a lot of work to do, but very proud of my son. I missed the last game, of course, but I saw some of the highlights, and he gave me a little bit of a play-by-play with it. It's good.
What's kind of your relationship like with Coach Skurrin?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, I kind of, it's been more of a, I guess, father relationship, because, you know, he's a high school coach, and puts a lot of time in. Those guys put a lot of time in, so I don't think it's my place to give football suggestions, not like anybody would want to listen now anyway, but he's, the times I've talked to him, like I saw him in the summer, and times I've been to practice in August when we were done or something, it's just been more of like, how's he doing? And, you know, there wasn't been a whole lot of football talk. Now, they were, back in the summer, his team, his staff came over here to camp and we talked a little ball then, but, he's been good. He's worked really hard and turned that program around, and I said, my son has been playing, I don't know how many high school games he started, but he started as a freshman, so. But more importantly to that, he's been a great leader for him, talking to Coach Curran. He's a great kid, great young man, I should say. He's 18 and I guess he voted, he was eligible to vote, so. And I don't tell him who to vote either, you know, let him figure out his own way, but I've been really proud of him.
After further review, what did you think of the catch they took away from Trey?
I thought it was a catch. And on the film, you couldn't see it much, and I hadn't watched the TV copy, but I thought, he had control of the ball. I thought he took a couple steps with it, and then the ground caused it to come out, so I thought it was a catch.
Have you talked to the team, or will you talk to the team about the importance of voting
No.
tomorrow? No?
You know, I don't, be honest with you, I didn't even think about it. I mean, not that I didn't think about, you can't help but know that the election's tomorrow, but I didn't think about talking to the team about it. I've been more concerned with trying to get us to play better football.
Okay, everybody, thank you, coach.